So this is technically milepost 308.7, but you can see the 309 mile marker right there on the other side. And I think an Amtrak is coming. Sounds like it to me. Heard him on the radio, 302, so he'll be coming through at quite a rate of speed. I think the Amtrak trains are pretty cool. They're like the hot rods. A lot of horsepower, not a lot of cars. That was cool. Cool train and a cool engineer as well. See if the signals are saying. I see all reds. So this might be a good time to go get some food. So we're off to a train auction today. A little one. And according to the intel I have from a person who got there before me, there probably isn't a whole lot there, but you never know. You know, this is a little bit of recreation for me, week of hard work, and there's no train shows I can go to, so this has to suffice. And you know, I don't think I've ever been to one of these Olin auctions where there wasn't something. You know, it might be a car, it might be a box of bones, but something of interest. So I'm hoping today is no different. We will see. And if not, we're going to go see if we can find some Norfolk Southern trains to get a quick look at, or maybe a store down here that has some trains. I think there's I don't know, one of those like flea market type stores down here that might have some trains to look at. But this is about the auction. Let's see if we can find something. And I probably won't do a whole lot of chat. I'll just let the camera do its talking. One of the things that you'll find at these auctions is most of the people who do eBay, they farm these. This is where they get their material. Places like this, stores and eBay stores and stuff like that. There's a fair amount of those people who come to these type of things. So it's always good to go to one because if it's close, you know, I don't know if I'd drive an hour to something like this, but because you're going to spend time and fuel. But if you're into dollars and cents, if that's why you go to an auction, it can make some sense once in a while. But oftentimes you're spending more time than it is just to buy the one thing you want off of eBay and let those stores come and find the stuff for you. Then you save yourself time, gas, money, and disappointment. How's that? So I'll just let the camera run over the stuff, and then after the auction, we'll see what we found. I have a sense of humor to appreciate that.
Give it a second.
We're going to have a restaurant. So 43,000. Yeah. There's a slot car site up in the city. That is incredible. It's 165 feet. Orlane. Put that in. We'll charge membership fees. $100 a month. It'll be all the old farts will be in there, and the kids. No wives allowed.
Yeah. Well, you know, we did that in Binghamton at one of the bars. There was a band Moose, and they got eBay shirts. Yeah, I never was in there. And we come down across the bar, down this side, through the wall, all the way down into the, like the exact.
The room looks a lot bigger when the bar was up in here.
And he used to, the bar
What's the one thing you wanna
sandwiches
get?
and stuff on the front cars, that and drinks and things like that. We went down, we had some used gallons there, electronic company at York. what they did was you put it all on. So, you wait till you put the button in the other room. That was pretty good.
I ever watch a video of Lionel, the guy that was obsessed. Yeah. And his food to his wife and her mother. And he used to like a dump car and stuff. Everything started going crazy. Crap was days. And he was trying to control good 20 minutes. He was in
Well, that was a short auction. I didn't really pick up much. I had about, I don't know, a couple $100 budget. But really the only thing that I did was add to the O scale collection of cars. I saw a couple of interesting ones for me. This one I actually didn't really want. I didn't know what it was. I heard Pennsylvania. I thought Pennsylvania Railroad. So I bid like $10. Got it. And that's one of those tall cubes, high cube boxes. And it's all O gauge like that one is, or O scale, as this one is. So 3 cars, I don't know, $15, $10 a piece. And then the only thing I spent money on was this right here, a more modern Lionel FT. It's Rock Island and it's new in the box, but it's the more modern, layout. So I'll probably either just run it, see how, see if I like it, add a little bit of variety to the layout, or see if I can get a different shell for it at some point in time and run it. But it should run well. These are new in the box for the most part. A couple of them had some time on it, but for the most part, this was a collection where the guy bought them and didn't run them. So we'll see how this one runs. So after the auction, I came down here just to see if there was anything going on. And the yard looked pretty empty. And usually when the yard is empty, that means something is coming in. So I'm not sure if this is a train coming in or is this a switching operation. But it looks like a couple of EMD, maybe SD60s. We'll see when they get close in. Let's see what we got here coming. No guarantee he goes through because he's switching. So let's take a look at the new acquisitions of the week. Just got back from that auction, Olin auction, and have this Lionel FT, in Rock Island, and it's very, very heavy. It's the modern layout where you have two motors or two powered trucks, die cast side plates and all that. Has all the sound and all the fancy stuff that the new trains have. And we're going to find out if it runs here in just a minute, right? If I can get back on the track. In addition to that, I have eBay purchases. I got 2 of these. Susquehanna. And I acquired this Williams, Pennsylvania, ALCO PA. And it's more O scale. It's a little bit larger than this one. And if you've been following the channel, I was trying to build up enough O scale cars to have a train. I think I've finally accomplished that. Not just with the spine cars, right? Some box cars. This one here is missing a door. I got this at the auction, this at the auction, and this one as well. And other than that, that's really it. So let's see if it works. I'm going to say that I like this Williams. It also has the powered trucks with can motors with flywheels. And this one's in Pennsylvania green. The detail is nicer than the Lionels, my old post-war. But it's O-scale. It's a little bit big. But it does fit these cars, which are also O-scale cars. And that's good. So I now have an O-scale freight train. And that matches up with my O-scale locomotives from Williams, from the Trainmaster to this one to the PAs. Of course, the PA is not going to pull freight. It'll pull passenger cars, somewhat semblance of being realistic. Now, this one right here, I'm really thrilled with because it has a lot of the new stuff in terms of the sound and some of the controls. And the one thing I find interesting is it seems to be speed defined not necessarily by voltage. So it has some kind of smarts in it where if it has enough voltage, it goes a certain speed. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I think there was something that K-Line used to sell called cruise control. And whatever that is, it seems to me this locomotive has some derivative of that. And but it also fits with my post-war Lionel cars in that semi-scale. It's not true O-scale, but it's a little bit larger than O27 Lionel stuff that I've got, from those post-war F3s right on up through, here and now with what they sell. So let's see if it works. So I'm going to say, yes, that's a win too. It seems like it pulls really, really hard. It doesn't have a trouble pulling the cars up and down those little hills, obviously. Of course, we don't have a lot of cars. And I really like those Susquehanna box cars. I'm going to have a whole bunch of them before this is done. I can tell you that. But this actually is a surprise to me. The Williams performs like a Williams does. I'm not really surprised that it performs well and pulls hard. You know, it has a little better detail than some of the other Williams products I have. I don't know if it's later or earlier or what. All I know is it looks really nice and runs good, but it doesn't have all the, no pun intended, bells and whistles. Where this one does, it's a little bit smaller in scale, and I like it. I think what I'll end up doing is finding a different shell, something that is more in line with the other railroads we have. Or just leave it the way it is because it's pretty. But I think I found 2 new products this last month that have really kind of changed my perspective on where I want to take this. You know, obviously I'll build a little more O scale, although I'm not quite as interested in O scale as I thought I would be. And partly this locomotive right here has kind of brought me back into that Lionel back to that Lionel semi scale, not quite 027 small, but also not quite O scale large. And works with the majority of my rolling stock, and it obviously is a modern design in terms of what it can do for, you know, pulling power and features. I like these things. Very impressed with this FT from Lionel. Didn't know what to expect. And the other locomotive that has kind of changed me a little bit is this one right here. Now, I've done 2 videos right now to this point in time. But this is also that semi-scale. On the K-Line catalog, it's listed as a 1 in 58 versus the 1 in 48, which would be this. But it too works well with the Lionel semi-scale cars. And, you know, it's kind of like that right down the middle scale that just fits most of what I have, but most importantly, better fits this small layout than the true O-scale locomotives. So, anyway, so let me see what I have for resolution. I'll put this on the better resolution if I haven't already, and just run these around for a few minutes, and I have enough for a video. And yet again, this was the Olin auction. It was a smaller one. And he's been saying, you know, Jeff, the person who runs this, has been saying that they want to have smaller auctions, more targeted, you know, and try to get people out instead of having 5 hours of auction time, you know, try to get them down to the couple hour range. And he was successful. We started at 10 and we were basically done there at noon, 1 o'clock. And yeah, I didn't come out with hundreds and hundreds of dollars of stuff, which is a good thing. But, you know, this right here, I didn't know what to expect. And to this point in time, it's really surprised me. I'm very pleased. So this was a successful auction day. I didn't know I had a missing door, but, you know, for the money, who cares? And just the larger O scale stuff in general doesn't thrill me quite as much as I thought it would. So, yeah, I mean, I'll run them. This here is going to get a lot of run time. But this one here is a surprise.